Hey, what is going on, everybody? You are back with TheReal PG for another NBA player prop video for today, Tuesday, January the 24th. Before we get into the video, if I could please ask you to smash that like button for another big day yesterday. If you've not yet gotten subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button for the most up-to-date information on player injuries, player line movement, and anything else in regards to today's slate. Before we do get into the picks, real quick, 3 links down in the description section you should check out. The first one is to the free Discord. It is basically an extension of the YouTube channel and where you will find all of my updates as I research throughout the day. Definitely come check it out. Like I said, it is free and it is the heart and soul of this community, more or less. 24 hours a day, people talking NBA, NFL, NHL, CSGO, Thrive, Prizepicks, Underdog, whatever platform you're playing on, people are talking about it, dropping plays, all sorts of stuff. So come check it out on your own time, guys. Second link is going to be to the Patreon. So the Patreon is 2 tiers right now. There's a base tier and an all-access VIP tier. So if you are more interested in what you are getting for free in the Discord and for free on the YouTube and want something more and want to actually invest into yourself and into your ability to learn how to research sports player prop betting, check the Patreon out. If you're curious how we've been doing lately, you can come on in to the Discord and hit the testimonial section. You're going to see all of our tailwinds. You're going to see what people have to say about the Patreon, about how I run the Patreon, stuff like that. There's all sorts of different things in here. Just come check it out again on your own time. Don't want to take too much time up before the picks, but everything you need to make your mind up on whether or not this is worth it to maybe invest into the Patreon is right here. Third link is going to be to my sponsored site, Thrive Fantasy, also my favorite site to bet on and build my bankroll at due to the highest payouts in the industry, as well as not being flooded with a ton of crap props. What you're getting here on Thrive are the props that kind of are the ones that people are looking for and the ones that aren't a distraction, like all that turnover and, the what other weird stuff, well, just blocks, steals, everything individually, just making it hard with all the choices, like all the different ways you can play one guy. It's just not good for a betting environment. So over here on Thrive, what you're given is a much more direct route, and you're forced to take only the best plays. Therefore, you're winding up with smaller cards of like 2 to 3 men versus 4, 5, and 6. Therefore, that increases your chances of winning and decreases your likelihood of having there being a play in there that busts or somebody gets injured or a game blows out. So not only are you getting a smaller card with less risk, you're getting a higher payout. So what we got going on over here right now is a promo. It's pretty awesome. I just talked about the Patreon. It does run $20 for the base tier, $40 VIP. I'm giving away my Patreon right now. It's the base tier for free until 2/19. So you have almost a full month of free Patreon. All you need to do is come over to Thrive as a new user, sign up with my promo code, capital letters PG, and deposit a minimum of $20. Directly upon deposit, your money will be matched 100%, up to $100. So if you deposit 20, you would get 20 for free. If you deposited 50, you'd get 50 for free, and so on all the way to 100. But the $20 minimum applies if you do want to take part in the promotion for the free Patreon. So basically, just got to come over here, give a site that pays better, has better lines in my opinion. The lines don't get bumped over here, so lots of things are different. So you're coming over, you're getting your money doubled and a free Patreon to give another site a try. Not much downside there. But with that being said, guys, all stuff to look into on your own time and decide if it's something that is for you. Let's hop into these plays. So over here, it's relatively early and there's not much for the slate that is up yet. Only got a few games completely added. So I do have one play because I've only have 3 total plays that I've found on my first look so far, and we'll talk about it. So the first play I'm looking at is Bam Adebayo and his 10.5 rebounds. We're going to be looking at the over here, and Let's take a look at the Vegas line for Bam. Only thing I don't like about this necessarily is the total is very low in this game, set at, let me look again, 217 only, so a very low total, which is common among Heat games generally. But that means pace will be down, shots will be down, all that. But Bam still, all that taken into effect, minus 126 to the over, 10.5 rebounds, minus 105 to the under. So just a little bit of juice to the over versus the under. Pretty close to even money, but a little shifted to the over. So if we take a look into the matchup for the center, so we're going to look at centers against Boston, and we're going to be looking at rebounds. So they are giving up over the last 7 games, which is the best sample size we can look at because we do want the most recent, up-to-date stuff because Boston has been shifting their lineup around with Rob Williams being in and out and in and out. So this is a good way to look at an accurate sample. Excuse me, guys. So they've been giving up 17 rebounds per game to the center over the last 7. Granted, Bam does not play all 48 minutes. He probably plays closer to 30, 34 minutes, but you still would divide that. Even if you divide this number in half, you're getting 8. So if he's playing 24 minutes, he can expect for 8 rebounds on average. We only need 11 for him to clear today, I believe it was. Right, 11. So let's dig into what Bam has been doing as far as his home stuff. Most of these Heat players are actually better on the road, as odd as that is. But if we do look at Bam and his rebounds, he has, let's look at the overall stuff first. So this is over home and away games, just to gauge how he's been doing lately. So he has been in double digits for 7 of the last 10 games. 2 of the games that he didn't get there were versus the same team in Jonas Valanciunas. Makes perfect sense. The other one in Brooklyn against Nicky Claxton. Back 1-8, Durant might have been in that game too, even at that point. But he's been strong lately. If we do look at the rebound matchup, like we said, it's about 17 almost rebounds per game. So if we dig into just the home games now, we'll see he's been in double digits for 5 of the last 10. 6 of the last 10, but he was over the line of 10.5 in the 5 of the last 10. The ones where he did miss, there was a hook short, and 2 of them where he was a board and a hook short. So he's been in the neighborhood of 10.5 every single game. If we take this and we take it to a median projection, over the season he's been averaging 10 rebounds per game at home. Over the last 10, he's been averaging, and he's at a median of 11 rebounds per game over the last 10 and 12 over the last 5. Granted, last time he saw Boston, he only got 8. Last time he also saw Boston, he was playing against a Robert Williams-led center position. So today he's going to be playing against Uncle Al and probably Blake Griffin is my guess. So let's look at this lineup and see what's going on to make sure. So Rob Williams, so nothing more yet, just out yesterday, opt to play it safe, and they're going to probably do the exact same thing today is my guess. We will find out, so this is a news-dependent thing. We got to look also, so Horford has been playing well lately, so this is why I don't think they risk throwing Rob Williams out there and re-entering him, because when they did put him back in the couple times they've tried, he's been right back out. Marcus may be coming back today. There's still not any updated news on that. It's still all on yesterday. So this, again, could become a game that turns into a blowout real quick if we say Rob Williams and Marcus Smart sit. That would be tough. And then that Bam rebound play becomes a possible issue. So again, it's early and there's not a lot of news yet, so we do need to wait on news, but news aside, if everything turns out that it does wind up, the game has a 3-point spread right now. If it remains that 3-point spread, then I do still like it. Let's look at Bam and what he has done against Boston in the past, which again is not going to be too informative necessarily, because the iterations of Boston he has played is not what he's going to be playing tonight, most likely. His rebounds have been relatively low against them, 7, 6, 8, 12 over the last 4. Nothing that's too enticing, but the most recent game was earlier this year, versus Robert Williams, where he had 7, but he did have actually 28 points and 23 points in the game prior. So maybe the points are actually a better look than the rebounds are. So let's take a look and see if points are offered to us over here on Thrive for Bam Adebayo, or maybe just the PR. Because again, guys, despite what's happened in the past, if Robert Williams sits today, that matchup becomes so much easier. So they do offer just points at 20.5. I have no problem taking that. Let's look at Bam's points at home. So yeah, 20.5 is the line. He has hit it in 5 of the last 10. He's hooked short in 1 and been a basket short in 3 total games out of. So he would have hit an 8 of 10 with an extra basket, basically. Let's look at the matchup, though. It's a little bit tougher as far as the points go than it was for the rebounds. And this is why I was on the rebounds, because like what we see in the past, like I said, is not going to be accurate given the starting 5 of the Heat today and Boston today. So let's look for the center and points versus Miami. Yeah, the matchup isn't great, 18.29, but he, again, this is over the last 7 here, so this is the most accurate estimation. If we look over the whole season, is not much changed. They've been a tough team, but they've been a tough team on the glass too. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at Miami, not Boston. They have been 21, so it's a little bit better over the season. So they've clamped down over the last 7 a little bit, but they have this whole season been not great on the glass this season. So in past seasons, apparently they have been, because they've locked Bam Adebayo down. He hasn't gone over, in the last 3 games, has not gone over 8 rebounds. When was the last time Bam went under 8 rebounds lately? I mean, once in the last 10 games he's gone under 8, and he hasn't gone over 8 once against these guys. So given the matchup today, given the way he's been playing lately, I do like the rebounds for sure. Over the last 5, again, look at those guys. He's been right in the neighborhood, but the matchup is A++ today. If we go back, if we filter in the minutes up to, say, 33, doesn't change anything. Let's see if we go a little further. 35 minutes, see, it's just changing a lot of the games. I don't know what I clicked to get in that, but on the last 10, so he's been relatively strong at home, guys. Lots of double-digit affairs, so this is definitely something I'm interested in, given the line. The points are definitely viable too, but again, this is why you need to be a part of the Discord, because throughout the day, once I do decide what Bam play I like, I'll probably drop it, because there are people who are interested in Bam in the chat. Obviously, people are asking Bam PRA, Bam points, Bam rebounds, and later on I'll be able to fill everybody in on kind of what I've found throughout the day when I continue to dig. So for right now, we're going to leave you with Bam Adebayo. However you'd like to take him on Thrive, it's up to you. And then I do like a couple of different looks on here, but not I like points for some players, but they only have a points plus rebounds or a points plus assist. And I'm not going to dig too hard live on air. I do want to get over to Prizepicks, where I have a couple plays that I can give you guys that I have already looked into. So the first one, which they do not offer on Thrive, they don't have the straight points. We have already missed the bump, guys. Spencer Dinwiddie was at 17.5 earlier, which was a total steal. And when we look at the game log, we'll see why the 17.5 is a big steal and 18.5 kind of makes a difference. But with no Christian Wood, it doesn't seem to be too big of a deal. So let's look at this. Spencer Dinwiddie has got some insane juice on his numbers today, especially those points. So let's look at Spencer. And his points are now at minus 164 to the over at 17.5. So even at 18.5, I still like this. You got it at 17.5 earlier, good on you. The one day I slept in, of course, this would happen. So, yeah. But let's see. So Spencer Dinwiddie, let's look at his matchup today. So we've got the shooting guard playing, and just as a note, guys, I don't like playing anybody against Dallas because of their pace and how slow Luka moves, but I do play players from Dallas generally, but I won't play players against them anymore. I have just lost too many times due to the pace and the score being so low because of Luka. So as a general rule of thumb, that is just a no. Also, to make note, what are we on right now? Was it shooting guard? Whoever is playing tonight, Charlotte, whoever their shooting guard winds up being, depending if LaMelo plays or not, if he does, it would move Terry to the 2. Keep in mind that he would have a superb matchup. But yeah, that's not who we're talking about. Just saw that and wanted to make a note of it. Same with the Indiana team. Whoever that would be Zach LaVine's matchup for points looks insane. 28.44. Got to do more digging on that too, though. So let's look at Spencer Dinwiddie and his numbers. So versus the who are they playing? Versus Washington. Where you at, guys? There they are. All right, so 26.26 per game over the last 7. If we look at the full season numbers for Washington. And I'm expecting red when I look for Washington. So over the season, they've been relatively good, but over the last 7, they've been really weak, actually. They're a top 10 easiest team to score on for the shooting guard over the last 7. But over the season, they've been relatively tough. So whatever is going on, I mean, the last 7, Bradley Beal has now been back, so it could have been something to do with, like, the absence of Bradley Beal and just the shift in lineup for a couple of days. If we look over, like, last 15, how much does that change? Nothing at all. The exact same over the last 15. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Well, wow, that really blows my mind. Okay, 26.26 over the last 15 and over the last 7. So that's a pretty solid number to go off. 26 points per game to the shooting guard. So Dinwiddie needs 19 today. If we look at Dinwiddie, like we said, he's got overjuice like crazy because Christian Wood is out. So a lot of shots are going to have to be replaced. So people are going to have to step up, and Luka cannot step up anymore. He cannot take any more volume. You know, he's already maxed out on volume every game. He cannot afford, Luka can't be taking 50 field goals per game. It just isn't going to work out, I mean, maybe it would with Luka. God knows that man's so good. But in general, that's like a no, and they're going to need help from some of these secondary players. So Spencer Dinwiddie game log versus Washington. And let's see how he's done versus them in the past. And this is why they bumped the number to 18.5, guys. So they had it at 17.5. The juice was high, but it wasn't that high earlier. It was like minus 145 when it bumped. Nothing that the juice alone would bump, I don't think. But if we look at the game log on his points, most recently when he played him this season, back in November, he put up 33 points. Game prior to that was his second game and only other game as a member of the Dallas Mavericks, but this was last season. He had 8 points, but he only played 23 minutes, so he left the game early for some reason. So maybe he was hurt and just had a rough game. But outside of that, when he was still playing with Brooklyn, I mean, he put up 18, 26, and 27 points. So taking that and moving it from 17.5 to 18.5 turns his hit rate from 80% to 60%. So that's a slick little bump right there, up to 18.5, but I'm still comfortable taking it. Let's look at some other stuff to kind of solidify this play. So Dinwiddie, and we're looking at his points, and we are looking at his points at home over the last 10. So Dinwiddie at home has hit in 4 of the last 5, 3 of the last 3, and overall, home and away games, he has just been very good over the last 5, continuously over the number over the last 5, and he hooked short. He would have been 6 for 6 or 7 for 9, 7 for 8, whatever it would be. So yeah, the matchup on here shows yellow, which is probably a pretty fair assessment between the season numbers and the last 7 numbers. Is probably a pretty accurate middle ground. But as we see, he's played relatively well. Let's look into this last game and see who all was in this game. Like I said, as we have no Christian Wood today, which we will look into. So for Dallas in this game, there was no Christian Wood playing either. So this is actually a great example, guys, of with no Christian Wood, what Spencer Dinwiddie game may look like. So 17 field goal attempts, 12 of which from 3, shooting very well that night, 7 of 12, but he did put up 15 more points, 14 more points than we need. So he could have gone 2 for 12, 3 for 12 technically, or 2 for 12 and missed a free throw and still hit the number, instead of having to go 7 for 12 from 3. So we don't even need an excellent shooting night, because the starting lineup should be very similar to this, actually, like Lucas Spencer, DFS, Reggie, Dwight Powell. It's going to be similar to that, and let's see, yeah, so... that's why Christian. This is so weird because that was this season, so I'm not sure why Christian Wood was out this game, but that's great to see, though. So you have a really good idea of what he's done without Christian Wood. So let's also take a look on here. If we take Christian Wood out of the picture, what has he done? Well, this year, overall, home and away games, without Christian Wood, he has hit in 5 of 6 and hooked short in his only miss. But now that the line is 18.5, it's a basket short still. So if you want to consider that a hook, you can. Either way, he was a bucket shy in the 1 miss. Let's go just to the home games where he has been 2 for 2. Even at the 18.5 line, he's hit 19 and 21 points so far this year without Christian Wood. So given the monstrous over on the Vegas line, as well as the record over the last 5, really more so the last 1, because it's the one of the 2 games that he played as a Mav where he played full minutes and he played without Christian Wood. So this is like the perfect example. I just wish we had a bigger sample size, but he owned their asses. 33 points in that game. We need 19 out of him today. I think that's a go. If we get back on the Thrive and we look at him, like I said, points were not there, but let's see what they do offer for him. Steals, rebounds, assists, points plus rebounds at 21.5. Let's look at what his rebounds are set at. Nope. Do we have an assist? And that's not even better. But okay, so that'd be 18.5 plus 3 would be 22. If this line 21.5, I would probably consider it, because if we look at the rebounds, he's had 4 in the last game with no Wood. Prior to that, 2, 6, 4, 4. So that number seems to be 4 kind of as an average. So if he gets 19 points and 4 rebounds, that'd be 23. So you probably could take him over on Thrive with the points plus rebounds, as I don't really see a better way, because the points plus the rebounds plus assist are both unders. I don't play unders, but maybe the under would be fine here. But again, I would probably take this and play like a 2-man similar to this, the Bam and Dinwiddie. I'm actually going to run that and just see. So we will lock that in just in case I do end up deciding that I do like the rebounds. I don't mind spending $5 to lock something in now. So over here we got Dinwiddie points that we want for sure. And then the other play I wanted to look at for you, again, we have Bam. If you want to take Bam, you can certainly do that over here. Oh, we got D-Mitch tacos. All right, so let's take a look on air with Donovan, and then the other play we're going to be looking at. So let's look at the other play first, which is going to be Paul George block steals. And most people are going to be like, well, why would you want this? Because those last 5 watchers are going to be so baffled right now. Like, what? You can't take an over on that. You're crazy. Well, let's look into what Paul George is up to today. See what Vegas and the bettors think. Nope. Did they take his game off? Nope. Cool. Scroll on down to PG-13. If we look at his block steals at a minus 141 to the over, plus 106 to the under, so he's got some big-time juice. And I saw this after I liked the play, which is what made me very happy because I liked the play prior to it. Then I saw that the juice was high on it, so I was like, all right, this makes sense. So let's dig into his past with these boys. So we got Paulie George versus Game Logs versus LAL. And let's look at his block steals, guys. Most recently played them November of this year, as well as 2 weeks prior in October of this year. He had 1 steal, 2 blocks, putting us well over the 2 that we need. Blocks and steals combined. The game prior, he had 2 steals, 0 blocks, cashing us over 1.5. Game prior, 12/3/2021. We're dating back to, or not this season, but the season prior now. 2 steals, 0 blocks. A game of 0 and 0. But then after that again, 2 steals, 0 blocks. And he's had more games, if you dig down in where he's had, 3+ steals and 1, 2. Let's look at this. I mean, this is dating really far back, so it's kind of irrelevant, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games out of the last 12 that I see on the screen here, he had 3+ steals alone. Recently, though, is what we're looking at. He did have 2 blocks and a steal, 2 steals, 2 steals. So he seems to be getting his steals every single game from the Lakers. I like the play today. Vegas seems to like the play today as well as the bettors. I'm on that one, despite the game log watchers being like, oh, 1 out of 5? No way. Paul George, I'm going to play it today. Now, let's look at Donovan Mitchell and his taco. So, here's the first thing, guys. If you believe really that we are voting as a community on these tacos, don't be fooled. Prizepicks is definitely running some kind of bots, because every time a taco is selected, there's always something. There's a better taco option that people just were short on the vote every time, as well as, there's something always that is suspect about it, whether it be the history. This is Donovan's first game back. He's coming. He could be on a minute limit. He could be rusty. There's no way the people chose Donovan Mitchell. That makes no sense. There's 3 options who aren't coming back off injury, who had lines that were certainly just as great to take down. I'm sure I didn't even see what the options are, and I can tell you Donovan Mitchell is probably not even close to the best one. But let's take a look and do some direct digging on this. Donovan Mitchell, and let's look at his juice at the current line if we can. We can. So Donovan Mitchell, over 26.5 points is juiced to the over slightly at minus 124 to the over, minus 106 to the under. So the over at 26.5 is a favorite. Let's look at Mitchell on props.cash at his points. Here they have him as an under at minus 105 to the over, minus 125 to the under. So Donovan today is playing away. So let's go away games. And let's crank this baby down to 21.5. All right. So, on his away games, he has hit the 21.5 line, 5 points discounted in only 7 of 10, you guys. And 2 of those games were with 22 just on the other side of the hook and 23 a bucket. Or he could have been 5 out of 10. Even at this discounted line, coming fresh off of injury. Let's look into Donovan Mitchell, and may he have a minute limit today, possibly. Is that something we can expect, maybe, out of Donovan Mitchell today? So, likely to play, appears to be on pace to return from a 3-game leave due to strained left groin. Logged a full practice on Monday. It does not say anything about a minutes limitation. Let's do a quick Google search just to make sure we're doing at least our basic due diligence right now. Donovan Mitchell minute restrictions 124. See if we get anything at all. Not much there. Yeah, I don't really see much of anything. Check RotoWire. So tapped is probable. I guess what we just looked at. Yeah, so I don't see anything on a minute limitation. So given all of this, we've got a Vegas line that suggested an over. Let's look at the matchup for Donovan first and see what that kind of looks like. So we've got our shooting guard versus New York and Quentin Grimes across from him. If they do end up matching up, let's see what this matchup looks like for the shooting guard against the Knicks. And we're looking at points. They give up, top 7, is that? Top 6 in the league at 26.8 points per game. So over 48 minutes. Donovan will probably see, I don't know, what has he been playing lately? Prior to injury, what was he playing? 37, 36, 36, 30, 36. All right. So around probably 30 minutes today, I think, is a safe estimate. If he doesn't get quite full run, that wouldn't shock me. But he's been able to take care of business in those amount of minutes. I mean, that's nothing. If he was playing 15 minutes or something, I'd understand. But playing 30 minutes or more changes literally nothing. I mean, when we drop the line to 21.5 hit rates, if he plays 30 minutes, it becomes 8 out of 10, actually. If he plays the full 36, maybe. This is just backing out games further out, dating back to 11-9. But same thing, 70-80% hit rate, you guys, no matter where his minutes are at. It's pretty similar, especially on the newer stuff. But remember, this game was where he left early with injury, so his most recent game to injury was 26 points, which would be more than enough to clear the taco. He hasn't missed the number for the taco outside of the game that he was injured and left early since 12/31, New Year's Eve, as an away game. Overall, let's see when the last time he missed this number was at 21-5. It was his last 2 games versus the Pels where he left early. I don't know if that's that same game or not. I believe it was. And then 14 versus Minnesota in the game prior. So I don't know. I don't love this taco necessarily. I really don't. I don't know what to make of it. It's a lot of ifs. So I would leave it for now. for now, I think this 2-man is acceptable, or if we wanted to add Bam, we can certainly do that. Adebayo's rebounds, I do think he does get there on rebounds today, just given this is more or less taking a gamble that Rob Williams will be out today. Maybe it's safer just to leave him off and flex it, or just 2-man this, but we're going to take it, because if Rob Williams does come out, it does wind up being out, there's a possibility that this bumps to 11, and then he needs 12 to cash you, and that seems a little iffy, despite his huge numbers he's been putting up. Like I said, he's been at 12 plus in so many games lately, but I still would be cautious and try to get on this number now if you do like it. If you think it's iffy, then just probably go without, but otherwise that's what I'd submit. And yeah, that's what I've got for early stuff. I'm going to get back to researching, and like I said, join the Discord if you want more information later in the day. Sign up for Thrive if you want the Patreon for free. We have been smashing lately, absolutely smashing. You can take a look at lately what's been going on. So here was yesterday. Lots of green lights, and then this was prior to the day was even over. Like I said, night nowhere near over. I did end up winning a few more. On Sunday, there was nothing on the Patreon because the weekend was off, but I swept the day prior, and now we're back this was Friday, I believe. We double hooked our 6-man, but we hit all the 4-mans. Day prior to that, we swept fully, but there was a DNP on Sabonis. Yeah, we've been lights out lately, guys. And again, if you go over to Thrive and you sign up as a new user with my promo code, capital letters PG, and deposit $20 minimum, get in contact with me via the DMs on Discord, and I will get you hooked up. Until the next one, best of luck and peace, guys.